do this month? Really, the reason that we came up with this concept is that every single month seems to go by so quickly, and we as small business owners always think, oh my goodness, I didn't get what I wanted accomplished. So it is part of time management. But for many of our businesses at the same time, for November and December, often because of the holiday season, especially if we're in business-to-business type organizations, what happens is that we simply are not getting all the traction that we'd like to have. So maybe people aren't meeting with us if we have business clients. So what do we do with this extra time? I mean, other than going shopping or actually entertaining and going to parties, there's also some strategic things that we can be doing. The whole concept is that every single month there's going to be different things that it's the time of year to start doing. So November and December is a great strategic time. It's also a great time to build rapport and relationships. January, a great time to actually set your goals as well as help you on the taxation side. But every single month actually has a good theme that we could actually keep our business continuing to move forward on. So that's where this whole concept came from. And really, when we were talking to entrepreneurs and figuring out how they use November and December strategically, it came down to 3 pretty big things that we need to be aware of. Well, really 2, and then we tacked on the third. Number 1, come up with a thoughtful communication plan. So this is a great time that we're all reaching out to people. There's a lot of activity. There's a lot of parties. And the thing is that this is only the beginning. This is an opportunity to start building that rapport and have an ongoing communication plan with our customers. Second thing is strategic product development or enhancement. This is also a great time because we're talking to so many people to get our customer feedback and maybe actually spend, if we have any extra time in there, to actually do the things that we keep on thinking about doing, that we never really feel that we got the time to do. And the last thing is actually student hires. And the reason being is that universities, colleges, and career centers, this is the time that they're looking for the summer employment opportunities. And there might be some things in there that you may not have known about at this point in time. So let's jump into this. Thoughtful communication planning. This is exactly what I was saying, is that we want it to be the start of our relationship with our customers. And it can be our new customers or our prospects, or it can be our existing customers. And the whole idea is that thoughtful means that we need to be genuine. Customers can really tell when someone doesn't care. And really, whenever we do any sort of actions, any sort of giving, be it a holiday card, be it a thank you card, be it sending a gift basket, be it whatever it is, it's really, does it come from the heart? And even in business, it sometimes really is the thought that matters. So sometimes we forget that and we think, hey, I just got the card out, I did say thank you, but really, was it also thoughtful? So part of any sort of communication that we have, making sure that it's genuine, otherwise our customers will know better. So part of this is, part of being genuine is really being yourself. And part of that is really allowing yourself to stand out and show your personality, especially if you're a solopreneur. So if you have just yourself in your business, this is an important part to let yourself shine. The picture here I'm showing is basically a bottle with a letter in it, and it's kind of funny because this really doesn't stand out. And during the holidays, everyone suddenly remembers, maybe I should talk to my customers. And when we think about it, we're thinking, oh, we should always be talking to our customers. It just seems that November and December is when we find the time to do it. But because everyone's doing it right now, we need some really cool ways to stand out. And there's quite a few different examples of how to do that, and you don't have to spend more money to stand out. One of my clients is actually a website development company, and the way that they work is they have a big holiday get-together. It's actually next Sunday, and the way that they make themselves different, not only do they invite people from all walks of life, because they have about 300 different customers, and they're from all over the place, so they basically get many different types of businesses all under their one roof. They invite them to their home, so it's not an office party, it's not a restaurant. They actually invite their customers to their home. And the other thing that they do is they say, don't bring any food for the party, but bring a wrapped gift or a donation for the local food bank. So they actually made themselves stand out in two different ways without really having to spend any extra money in order to build that rapport. So they stood out in a fairly cool way. The other idea on this is maybe not just worrying about a card. Maybe you don't need the card up front. Maybe you could do something just as simple as a end-of-year wrap-up that has a lot of jokes and memories and building rapport. This is actually something I do myself. Instead of sending out cards, because I have friends in about 80 countries, so the way that I work is I actually send out my 2013 wrap-up. And every single month I say the top highlight, and it's usually a funny story or something that's a little bit endearing and something that's more that they'd remember about me or allow my personality to come out. So again, it doesn't have to be expensive. It just has to be different than what everyone else does. In fact, just doing a card, just doing chocolates, it's just a small step above doing nothing at all. So how can you stand out? That's even more critical. The second thing here is how do you keep it up? So now that we've stood out during the holiday season, now how do we stay top of mind? And really that means more communication later on. So maybe now we're sending out a happy holiday, season's greetings, thank you for this year. But maybe next June, so 6 months later, we should be sending another card. Maybe a gift card then, something else. So this could just be the start. And maybe it's not just once every 6 months. Maybe you have an event every 3 months for your customers. Maybe you have, I don't know, a newsletter that goes out every single month. So this should be the start of an ongoing communications plan. In fact, it's a great time if you have any downtime at all in December because customers aren't meeting with you. This is a great time to create your own communication roadmap. And this is what it could actually look like. So your communications roadmap basically is you put in every single month or whatever time frame that you want to do your communication. And then to help really get the brainstorming juices going, the creative juices flowing, what you want to do is come up with what each of those time frames are known for. There's no point in really going against the grain unless you want to do, I don't know, Christmas in July, and I mean that is another way of going. But think about a theme that you could really resonate with, or maybe that goes with your business. The example that I have here is, let's pretend you're a dance studio. So a dance studio, usually they're going to have young kids who come in once a week or maybe twice a week for the dance programming. So if they wanted to have an ongoing communication, they have all the months written down. So starting for December until November, so I mixed it up a bit here. And then they'd have all the different themes. And the themes are related to their target market. So here, the holidays, great, that's easy. January, well that's really known for new beginnings. I mean, Good Life and the YMCA, they really go on the entire New Year's resolution piece of things. Well, you can do that for almost anything. February Love, March, that's March break because again, we're targeting youth. So March break is a big thing there. And then what you do is you just figure out what you could do that's going to be some sort of way to stay in touch with your customers at each step. And really the cost of retaining a customer is a fraction of finding a new customer. So doing something like this increases your retention tenfold, and it's going to be very significant to your profitability and to your bottom line. So for instance, maybe if I had a dance studio for the holidays, I'm not just going to send home Christmas cards for everyone. What are the boys and girls who come to my dance studio really going to care about? Probably cookies. For the new beginnings for New Year's resolutions, maybe we offer free sampler classes. So we actually encourage people to try ballet, jazz, and hip hop as opposed to what they're simply doing. For February, maybe the way that we do some promotion and maybe some community outreach is to have ballroom lessons at local restaurants to really get the word out about we're in this area. So there's really cool things that you can do when you figure out I have to communicate differently every single month, have something cool, have something to talk about, stay top of mind. Always tie it into whatever your theme is. This is going to help you start to become pretty creative. So the first thing is a thoughtful communication plan. And this runs us into the second piece, which is a strategic product development or enhancement time. So again, during November and December, if you have any downtime at all, this is a great time to basically really get a lot of stuff done that maybe just gets put on the back burner throughout the rest of the year. So strategic product development and or enhancement, how do you do this? Well, really, are people already telling you things? Do you already have something at the back of your mind? So has an idea been sitting at the back of your mind for some time? Is this something that you can put together? So for Small Business Solvers, something that we're actually coming out with during the Christmas and holiday and December season when things are a little bit slower, what we end up doing is we're developing a brand new video series. So we're actually developing about 100 training videos this month and next month to make available to everybody. Pretty exciting stuff. It's been on the back of our mind to make everything a little bit more of interactive videos, and this is something that we're going to be having. Next, have customers been asking for things? Again, for us, a lot of our customers have been asking us for white labeling opportunities and things like that. So this is a time that we've actually been structuring that and making that more available. We also work with a lot of coaches. They've been wanting to resell Small Business Solvers. So is this now the time to actually make those meetings and really meet with the people who also usually aren't available, but during December they start becoming more readily available. And then the last way to really figure out if you have another idea that you could implement right now is do you have a natural extension to what you're doing today? And so it's the next step, the little feet here. And what we look at is an adjacency. So if you're currently, I don't know, have a coffee shop, and this is something that definitely Tim Hortons would have done, is they started with a coffee shop that only had coffee and donuts. And then from that point, what can you do next? Well, that's a natural step into croissants, sandwiches. Sandwiches are a nice transition into soup. And then from there, you can now know that they do wraps and other things. But if they had just gone from donuts and coffee right into wraps, that's not a natural extension. They actually needed the steps. So look around, see if there's a natural adjacent product or service that you could be offering, and this is a great time to be thinking about that. So that brings us into the last piece, is student hires, and this is a huge opportunity. So student hires, students have a ton of energy. The nice thing is that if you hire or work with a student, they're great at actually explaining how other students work. And they're a great customer or target market, especially as they continue to get older. They are going to eventually be everyone's main target at some point in their life cycle. So understanding them is going to be really critical. Now, what's really great about being a small business is we're hip. We're cool. We're really, really fun. I mean, Dragon's Den, Shark's Tank, they've really helped to popularize how cool small business really is. And so you will be shocked at how many students might actually want to volunteer for you. So with Small Business Solver, we do a lot of guest speaking, and we often get volunteer students who want to work with us and get some more experience. So thinking about what can you add to them, what kind of job experience can you give them, this is a great opportunity. Another opportunity is interns. Right now, career centers are really looking, so at all colleges and universities and also many high schools, they're looking for placement opportunities for their students to actually get real job experience. So it's really, really easy to do. All you have to do is you Google your area, you put in college or university, so you might have to do 2 Google searches, and then you say whatever program you'd actually want to work with you. So let's say you're a health clinic. Well, maybe what you want to do is you want to put health and college for your area. Let's say it's Ottawa. Type that in, and you'd be shocked at what type of programs the local colleges and universities have. And many of them have required job placements where they work for 3 to 12 months, 1 day or even more days per week or hours per week to support. So no matter what your industry, there's probably going to be a good connection here. And the last opportunity, and this is huge for small businesses, is the Canadian federal government offers 50% of any of your wages hiring summer students. So if you're less than 50 employees as a company or small business or sole proprietorship in Canada, the Canadian federal government pays 50% of your student wages. What you have to do is you have to go through a subsidy application process. It actually starts December 2nd, so next Monday, and you have to submit by January 10th. They let you know in about April whether or not you get the subsidy. Depending on where you are, they actually subsidize across the country. Each municipality gets about the same, so if you're in a rural community, you stand an even higher chance. If you are a nonprofit, the Canadian government actually subsidizes 100% of your student salaries, and this can be from 6 to 16 weeks. So just as a recap, I mean, there's volunteers out there for small businesses because small business is cool. Interns because most most colleges and some universities have some sort of job placement requirement for many of their programs. And if all else fails, you can still apply for the government subsidy, 50% of your wages for your students. So really exciting stuff. So just as a reminder again, we have the thoughtful communication plan, great thing to do right now, strategic product development or enhancement, and the last thing is student hires. And the reason that we put this together, these are things that Small Business Solver does at this time of year, every year, and just wanted to make sure that this is on everyone else's radar. And at this point, we're going to be stopping the recording.